I also dressed up as a deer because using theater makeup in everyday situations is really fun. So, Halloween. The night when little kids make themselves sick on candy, college kids make themselves sick on alcohol, and the parents just wait for it all to be over and hope that everyone survives. And a good time was had by all. But it's also a time that got me thinking about fear. So what is fear? Technically speaking, it's your body's physiological response to something that you perceive as a threat to your safety. Like that guy over there, who looks like he might be about to vomit into his shoe. Yep. It happened. Whenever we receive stimuli that make us feel unsafe, the parts of our brain that receive the stimuli send that message to your thalamus, which then forwards neurotransmitter messages to your amygdala, and that's what really kickstarts your flight or fight response. All of these messages and communications in your brain triggers the release of various hormones, and these have various effects, like making your heart beat faster, making your muscles able to contract faster, making you more aware of your surroundings and more alert for small noises or movements. And all of these things make you generally more likely to survive a situation in which you might be attacked. Generally speaking. Not everyone can be fast enough to outrun the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park, but that's just the way it is. Darwin at work, you know? Occasionally, in our modern world, when we don't face nearly as many physical threats as we did in our ancient habitat, our brain recognizes that the things we may be afraid of currently aren't actually threats to us. So the fact that our house is creaking is probably not a burglar, but your body has that response anyway. In this kind of fear pathway, those messages pass by your hippocampus, and your hippocampus is the one that takes a minute and says, okay, hey, calm down. You're probably fine. Just freaking out over nothing. Sorry, bud. Calm down. As I'm sure many of you know, we can also trick ourselves into being scared by watching scary movies or going to haunted houses. I think y'all are crazy. That is so scary! Why would you do that? To some people, not me, the release of these hormones can actually be pleasurable, even mimicking the symptoms of sexual arousal. There's actually some interesting data out there that suggests that people are more easily sexually aroused after they have been through something scary or dangerous. Weird. My body's personal response is always to produce tears, which makes no sense. I'm scared, and then I cry. It's really embarrassing, actually, so... Fear, and sexual arousal for that matter, but that's for another video, is actually one of the most ancient physiological responses in both humans and non-human animals. Obviously, it's advantageous for us to become afraid and then be able to escape the things that are threatening us. Many of the things that were threatening or dangerous to our ancestors are things that we as modern humans are still afraid of, like snakes, spiders, heights, the dark. These are things that are actually legitimate threats to our oldest human ancestors. And even though we may not ever encounter a poisonous snake in our lives, we're still afraid of things that look like snakes, move like snakes, sound like snakes, feel like snakes. Snakes, man. They'll get you. These are what psychologists sometimes call ancient fears. Fears that have been passed down for generation upon generation for time immemorial, that even though they don't pose a huge threat to us now and we have ways of dealing with them in our modern society that our ancestors did not, they still produce this instilled fear response almost immediately in our bodies. So what's your biggest fear? What was the scariest thing that happened to you this Halloween? Answer me down in the comments on Tumblr, Twitter, or Facebook. I'd love to hear from you. Ask me another question. Thanks for watching. Be safe, be happy, and don't forget to pack your lunchbox.